So this is a Bailey Pegasus 534, going to take you around the van and show you how it operates. Front of the van, you've got your jockey wheel, hitch and handbrake. This is all something we'll go through in person here on site. In the front locker, you've got your gas regulator with your 2 gas bottle tie downs, and you can hold a maximum of 2 6-kilogram propane gas bottles on the van. Front side here, you've got your storage locker for the front of the van. You've got the same on the other side, and your grey waste pipes of the caravan are also in there. You've got a storage locker here, which at the moment isn't open, but we've got a storage locker there where you've got an onboard water tank, which I'll explain to you when we go inside the van. A majority of people don't use these, but again, I'll go through it so you know for future reference how to use it. You've got your heating and hot water flue next, just here. So that is where essentially the gases from the heating and hot water system will be vented from the van, so essentially an exhaust on the side of the van. And then you've got your water pump connection going into your rack roll. The water pump connection, as you can see, pulls out, and pushes into place. And if you push the cap down, it'll actually lock that into place for you. One thing I did forget to mention as we come past was the wind down legs on each corner of the van. They are there for supporting the van, but not lifting the caravan. If you lifted the caravan with the legs, it could potentially damage the floor of the caravan. You've then got your 2 fridge vents on the side of the van. These allow the hot air out the side of the fridge unit, and the top one here has got a gas exhaust behind it as well. So again, if you're running the fridge on gas, it will allow the system to vent the gases from the van. On the back of the van, just here, you've got your toilet flush tank, which takes 3.5 litres of water and a cap full of the pink fluid. The toilet waste cassette down here, the neck turns out to allow you to tip the waste away. To release it, you'd pull up the orange handle when it's in place. And on the back of the cassette, at the bottom, you've got an orange pressure relief button to allow you to let the pressure out of the tank when you are tipping the waste away. You'd put 1 litre of water in here through the neck here, and 1 capful of the blue fluid prior to use. And the toilet cassette lives in that hole just there. I'm going to go around to the other side of the van now and show you what we've got. So again, you've got a storage locker for this side of the van and a barbecue gas point. You've got a 3-pin plug coming out the side of the van, so you can have your mains power connected in your awning if you wish to. You've got your motor mover and wheel nuts. The motor mover I'll demonstrate while you're here in person, and the wheel nuts will be torqued before the caravan leaves site to the manufacturer's recommended settings. You've got your mains power lead coming into the side of the van, as you can see here. And that mains power lead essentially powers everything inside the van on 12 and 240 volt, or 240 volt, sorry. You've then got your battery box where you can store the battery for the van, which with a motor mover I'd recommend you put a 110 amp battery in there. You've then got a storage locker for the rear of the van that's currently locked, but you can access that from underneath the storage, underneath the bed at the rear of the van. At the back you've also got 2 wind down legs to stabilise the caravan while you're using it on site. We go on to the inside of the van now and demonstrate how the systems work on board. So on the left hand side as you come into the caravan, you've got your master power switch, you've got your internal lighting, you've got your awning light and your water pump. At the top here you've got a voltmeter for the battery on board the caravan. So to fill the water system, once your rack roll is connected on the outside and your pump's connected, you'll open each tap up on the hot side of the water system, which at the moment, as you can see, is already full. However, you'd open all the taps up on the hot side, whether that be the tap in the kitchen, the tap in the bathroom, or the tap on the shower. You'd then make sure underneath the seat on the right hand side of the van at the front that your drain down valve is closed off. So the yellow valve that you can see just there is the drain down valve for the water system. You can hear the pump running at the moment because it's filling the system back up wherever it's had the tap on. That yellow valve will need to be parallel with the floor for you to be able to fill the water system, and if you lifted it upright towards the bottom of the seat so it's pointing upwards, it would drain all of the water off the system on board the van. So like I said, you'd have that valve parallel with the floor. All of the taps open on the hot side, so that's the kitchen sink, the shower and the bathroom sink. You'd then come to the control panel by the door and turn on the water pump. Once the water pump's turned on, it will start pulling the water up from the aqua roll on the outside of the van, and when the system is completely bled, you'll have water coming out of every tap continuously. Once you've got water coming out of each tap continuously, You can shut all the taps off. So that's a tap again in the kitchen, the one in the bathroom, the one in the bathroom sink, and the one on the shower. Once you've got the water system full, you're probably going to want to warm the water up. So on the wall just here, where it says water heater, for the electric water heating, you'd need to turn this switch on, so the red mark here is showing. So that'll allow the water system to warm up on electric. You probably want to know now how it warms up on gas, and that is the next thing we're going to go to. Sorry, just to say, on the electric side of the water heating, it will actually warm up to around 40 to 45 degrees of water temperature. On the top dial just here, you can run the hot water system on gas. To do that, you'd spin the dial round to the gas symbol just here. The green light would appear when it has ignited on gas, or when it's igniting on gas. And when it has ignited, that should say solid green. At the moment, as we haven't got a gas bottle on board, the red light has appeared to let you know it has failed to ignite. If it does ignite, you can very simply control the water temperature between 30 and 70 degrees on the dial just here. If you're going to shower on board the caravan, I would advise, if you've got the option to run the electric and the gas, that you use both of them as a combination. The gas on its own will warm up the water quick enough for a boost system, but if you're using electric as your main power source, when you're showering, I do advise you use the gas to boost it. Always set the temperature higher than the 40 to 45 degrees of water temperature that we expect the water heating system to make. Next up is the electric heating for the caravan. So on the opposite side of the van, you've got a power switch here, which you need to turn on to allow the heating to come on. Then above that, you have a dial with a temperature, with a thermostat in the centre, and a dial on the outside, which, as you can see here, twists. And that will allow you to select the amount of power you have coming into the caravan. Now, each different caravan site will have a different amount of power coming into their vans. So for instance, here on site, we can run the heating system on 500, 1000 or 2000 watts. Down the side here, you can select that power source. So we're running it on 500 watts. And the green light will appear to let me know that we have got power coming from the switch at the bottom to the controller just above. I can then control the heating temperature between 1 and 9 as described before. And to start with, when you first turn on the heating, I'd imagine you're going to have the heating coming out the front of the heater just to get the system warm without the blown air. The little dot on the dial on top of the, or next to the dial on top of the heater, actually indicates that heat is coming out the front. You can run continuous blown air also, which is a wave symbol on the left hand side, which allows the heat to come out the vents around the caravan. To operate that, you'll simply pull the slide switch across, which will then change the direction of the flow to the vents around the van. On top, you've got a fan speed dial, so you can go between 1 and 5 to control the speed of the blown air system. The A on this side is essentially automatic blown air, so it cuts in and out with the thermostat either up on the wall or the gas option on the left hand side, which I'm going to come to in a moment. The gas option is very easy to use. You'll spin this dial round, hold it between 10 and 9 and press down the gas valve. When it has ignited on gas, the pilot light will appear in this window just here. Once it has ignited, you'd hold down the gas valve for a further 5 to 10 seconds to allow the thermocouple to warm up. You'd then slowly release the gas valve and control the heat of the heater on the dial above. Next up is the fridge. The fridge, again, very simple to use. You've got the off position of the fridge at the top here. You've got 240 mains down the right hand side. And then you've got your fridge temperature control for gas and electric on the right hand side. You also have the option to run 12 volts, so when you're towing down the road you can use the fridge as a cool box, which allows you to get the beer and wine nice and cold when you get on site. So when you are on the 12 volt mains, it will work off the cart 12 volt system rather than the caravan, so you'd have to be connected to the car before you turn this on to allow it to start chilling. If you wanted to run the fridge on gas, you can also do that by spinning the dial to the gas symbol at the bottom here, holding in the temperature valve in the centre of the, pressing in the dial in the centre of the temperature dial, pressing in the button in the centre of the temperature dial, and hitting the igniter on the right hand side. Once it's ignited on gas, the red line that you see in this window just here will come round into the green, And if that red light stays in the green, it means the fridge has ignited on gas and it is operating as it should. You'd control the temperature of the fridge on gas on the dial just here. The microwave works very much like your household microwave. So you've got a dial just here, and as you can hear, kicks in and starts operating as you'd expect to. The last thing we're going to go through on the inside of the van, because like I said, we'll demonstrate the motor move while you're here on site, is the toilet system at the rear. So you've got an electric flush on the toilet, just here. You've got a full indicator light that lets you see when the toilet waste cassette is full, the one I showed you on the outside, so basically the waste tank. And then below the toilet you have your grey waste flap, which you can open up to allow your toilet waste to go in the cassette under the van. The toilet does actually turn for your convenience, as you can see, so that you can remove the toilet cassette from underneath the van. When you are removing the cassette though, you will need to make sure it's pointing straight across the van. Sorry, I should say the toilet seat turns for your convenience. However, when you are removing the toilet cassette from underneath the van, you'll need to make sure it's pointing straight across the van. So that's the Bailey Pegasus 534. If you have any further questions on this particular van, please give me a call here at the Caravan Company and I'll be more than happy to help. Thank you for your business and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye bye.